All right, guys, we are going to get started. I am so excited to be here with everybody. I'm going to let everyone come in. We had a late promo for this, so I was surprised by the number of people that we had sign up because due to me, I got that really crazy flu that wouldn't leave me alone for a long time. So anyway, our promo got a little bit delayed because I was down for the count. And I am back and I'm really, really happy to be here with everybody. So we've got a lot to talk about tonight. A lot of different things that we're going to do. First and foremost, what we're going to do, I just want to tell you guys what Whole for the Holidays is, so you really understand what you signed up for and you're not confused at all. Every year around the holidays, I know firsthand how hard and challenging it can be, especially around your weight, around taking care of yourself, around food, around family, just around a lot of different things. And nothing really feels worse than seeing people when you just don't feel good in your body. And it's really easy to just go kind of F it. Like, I'm just going to eat whatever I want. I'll start in the new year. And unfortunately, a lot of damage can be done from Thanksgiving to New Year's. A lot. It's actually really frustrating how much you can put time and energy and attention into taking care of you. Especially, those of you that are fit and in training, we always say, it's like, oh my God, it took so long to get that definition in my arms and I ended up getting sick and a week later, it was gone, or to get that 6-pack or 4-pack or just, feeling good. And it easily can change. And so one of the things that I always like to do around the holidays is really support everyone in my community with a big give. And what we've done in the past is a healthy holiday challenge. And this year, what I wanted to do is a 2-part series called Whole for the Holidays, combined with the holiday challenge as a bonus. So what you get when you sign up for this series, tonight we're going to be talking about how to not eat your emotions and gain weight, right? So essentially the title of today's call is Eat and Enjoy Without Overeating, Food Guilt or Weight Gain, Diet Free, okay? Next week on Tuesday, December 17th, we're going to come together again live. So if you have any questions in the interim from now until then, make sure to join. If you haven't joined already, our wholeness group. Our wholeness group is a complimentary free group that's like fully for you. It's not a ton of solicitation. It's nothing like that. It's me, it's tips, it's inspiration. It's really meant to get peer-to-peer support from other women like you with daily some tips, inspiration, motivation from me. I pop in, I do Facebook Lives, a variety of different things. And it's really meant for that peer-to-peer support because, it's like a gold mine. You guys have such like mass amounts of knowledge and sharing what's worked for you, what hasn't, things that are inspiring you these days, different resources. That's really powerful. So utilizing that. And in the group during this time, I want you to tag me any questions that you have. I'm here to support you. And if I miss them, my team will notify me. So next Tuesday, December 17th, same time, this is Tuesday. Today is Wednesday, as you know. Next week, we're going to do how to handle family triggers, food pushers, and stress less for your most joyous holiday season. So what I want you to know about my trainings are, I'm all about results, and I'm all about being connected in to yourself, to a higher power, to your highest power. I bring in my gifts of being an intuitive energy worker, hypnotherapist, nutritionist, fitness expert, along with specializing in the psychology of eating and understanding our emotions and how we eat, and the whole cycle of self-sabotage, which is what my international bestselling book is all about, and my wholeness podcast, which is really a holistic approach to achieving your ideal body, keeping it for life, being diet free, and approaching everything in life from that holistic viewpoint. So I tie all of this into what I do, and I tie it into my webinars here with you. So what you're going to receive tonight is practical tips, because if you can't apply things to your everyday life, it's wonderful to theorize about them and to have all these ahas and be like, oh my God. But then what do you do with them? So I like to give you ahas, and I like to have you go, oh my God, like this girl's speaking my language, and I've never really heard things said this way before, which is what I always have reflected back to me. And you say things that I just like, maybe I've heard it, but the way you say it just makes so much sense. And because of that, my community has these beautiful breakthroughs. I like to pair those breakthroughs with practical things that you can apply now so that you can really not only see the change, but feel the change inside, right? And you're going to be hearing me talk about a lot of different things. If I reference God at any time, I do believe in God. Doesn't mean you have to. God to me is in everybody and everything. I've got a little God in me. God's in the tree next to me. God's in the ocean. God's in you. That's how my view of that. I'm not about pushing religion on anybody. I am about having faith in something greater. And I do receive a lot of guidance when I am doing these trainings and when I'm speaking with my clients, when I'm teaching in my groups. So I freely share that. Take what speaks to you, leave what doesn't. If you are not into this at all, by all means, you can leave right now. No harm, no foul at all on me. You have to feel aligned with who you're receiving information from. So we've got our 2 live trainings. Now, what's next with that? You're also immediately, when you signed up for this, you automatically received a bonus from me. It's my Healthy Holiday Challenge. You are going to receive your very first tip. It's 14 days of tips straight to your inbox that are going to support you in staying aligned to your goals. Now, you're going to receive your first tip on Thursday. That's tomorrow. And they will take you through to the new year. So why do I like 14 days of tips? Why do I like them for the new year? Instead of doing 30, we used to do 30, 31, up to actually the day after January, we found that people stopped really paying attention to them after about 2 weeks. So there is a human threshold and capacity for things. So once we really looked at the stats for that, we brought it down to our top 14 tips that gave biggest bang for your buck, you're gonna say. That's what you're gonna get in your inbox. Please take the tip and put it into action each day. They're super simple, they're super easy, and they're fun, and they're gonna keep you aligned to just feeling and looking amazing. If you have weight to lose, if you don't have weight to lose, if you've lost weight and want to make sure you keep it off, if you're just wanting to feel good and stay on top of your wellness goals, if you want to be mindful of yourself and be intentional this holiday series, and you no longer want family and outside circumstances or your lack of being present to you, then this is the place for you. Okay, so it's totally going to help you. The other bonus that you're going to get that I'm excited about that I get asked to do all the time is how to dress to impress and feel your best. It's going to be a video training. You'll receive it in your inbox. I will tell you when. Since I was sick, I did not record it yet. It's also going to include just simple tips on how to dress for your body type. I used to be in the fashion industry. Style's my jam. I've been making my own clothes and helping people dress for their body type, honestly, all my life. I did it with myself in my multiple weight fluctuations. Also, I did it with myself in not having a thyroid and going up and down in weight. And people would always be like, I can't even tell. And how do you? And I just learned how to do that. It's kind of innate in me. My mom was a master at it. And I do believe, we get those things. So I've loved it. People used to hire me to style them in New York on the side. And even when I started my coaching practice, I actually had style as a component. So I would go in and basically help my clients make sense of their closet, put outfits together, declutter with them, and then we'd go shopping and I would have things set up. I used to have really good connections in New York City with Bergdorf's, and Neiman Marcus and Saks. And I would go in and then, and then obviously my clients, depending on their budget, we would go in. So it's super fun. You're going to love that bonus. And these are all the things that you get and they're completely free and they're for you. So I hope that you love them. I hope that you're excited. I hope that you're as excited as me. I love to give during the holiday season. I like to give actually all the time. So the holidays just gives me an extra reason to do so. So this is my gift to you guys this year, and I hope that you enjoy it. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off tonight. We're going to get grounded in a meditation. So my invitation right now is for everybody to please come together and close your eyes. And let's just get grounded and centered into why you're here and what your intention is. Actually, before you close your eyes, I'd love if you could put in the chat your intention for being here tonight. What brought you to join me live on this call? It's fascinating. We always have hundreds, so many people sign up. And then the number of people that come live, I always just see as a special select group that we get to really build off the energy of. So thank you so much for your live, beautiful presence. And then those of you that are going to get the replay, life happens. And so you're going to hear this at the perfect time. So if everybody could please say what your intention is, why are you here? What is your intention? Maybe essentially, what is your intention for being here tonight? And then we will get started. So if everybody could share that with one another and we can connect. And then what I'd like you to do is when we're going to come into meditation, we always want to put our palms up. So we never want to have anything crossed. We never want to have our hands like this. We don't want to have our legs crossed. We don't want to have our feet crossed or our hands crossed. Reason being is we don't want to block any energy coming in. Okay. So if you ever wonder why you see people in meditation and they're doing different things, that's really what it comes down to. It's just really a blocking of energy. Just like when they teach people when you're studying about body language. And like I always teach in our groups and to my clients, stand when we're doing different things at our retreats, have an open posture. Don't be like this, right? Because we're closed off when people are just like, right? It's a closed off energy. So like right away, as humans, we go up to people and we will not go up to those people that are closed because it's kind of got like a big like, F you, don't come over here. So, it's kind of similar in energy. We want to keep that open, okay? We really want to keep that open and available to what we want, what we're calling in and what we want to create there, okay? So we're just going to come together. And closing your eyes, let's just really connect in. Breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. No matter where you are in the world right now, we just want to let go of our worries. Let go of everything that we experienced here today. And as women, let's let go of that to-do list for what we're going to do after this call or what we might want to be multitasking and doing right now. What else can I do? I'm listening to Melissa in the background. How about we just choose to be present and trust that we're here for a reason? And that there's specific guidance that we need to hear tonight and a message divinely orchestrated just for us. Breathing in, take a deep inhale in. We're going to inhale in some positive white light. Just see that coming through your nose, filling up your body and your lungs and your chest. Beautiful. And suspend the breath for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Calming our conscious mind, allowing the subconscious mind to come in. Exhale out. On this next inhale, we're calling on all of our angels and guides, all those beings of love and light, spirit guides, any of those that have passed on, whom we love dearly, that we'd like their presence here today. Any and all guides of love and light, may your presence be known here today and may your guidance be brought through me. May everything that we seek be shared, everything we need to hear be heard. And my prayer for everyone here today is may we all see with loving eyes, hear loving words, speak loving words and think loving thoughts. May we only feel love and be love each and every day throughout our days and throughout our lives. And when we are in doubt, may we come back to what we know is true in our hearts and come back to our breath and to the love that is available to us always within ourselves and through the divine. And breathing in and breathing out. Seeing yourself having a stress-free, carefree, joyous holiday season. Allowing the visions and feelings to unfold. Being in your body now, connecting into the power that is you. And recognizing that when in doubt, when with family, when surrounded, and when alone, this connection to yourself in this moment and at any moment is all you need. Breathing in and breathing out, closing your eyes and connecting in, and asking for the guidance that you seek, and trusting and knowing that it is available to you always. Breathing in and breathing out. Then your mind repeating your intention for tonight's joining in this live training. What brought you here? What is your intention for yourself tonight, and what is your intention for this holiday season? How do you want to feel in your body? To feel light, to feel in control of your choices, to feel satisfied, to go to bed proud, to speak your truth boldly and unapologetically, to be kind, and to be that love for all those around you. But most of all, to be that loving companion for yourself that you seek outside of you, in your partner, and that you give yourself the validation, approval, and acceptance that you've longed for most of your life. And most of all, feeling the worthiness within yourself uprise from your sacral chakra, through your root, through your throat chakra and out your crown, up to the heavens and shooting back down, as worthiness reigns upon you. You, my love, are deserving and worthy of all of your desires, and to feel at one and completely at peace in your body, lit up and alive, releasing all judgments, releasing all doubts, releasing all what ifs and shoulds and I'm sorries, embracing only that of love for you and for everyone in your path. Take a last inhale in and exhale out. Take a moment to center and then opening your eyes. Beautiful. Doesn't it feel so juicy to just be back in here? I remember when there was a time when I used to just not even connect, and I just went from thing to thing to thing to thing to thing, racing and racing, and always going, why can't I get guidance? And then I was like, am I even stopping to receive it? So I want to position that back to you. How often do we think that we're not receiving, that we're not connected, that we can't get the answers, when in reality we haven't asked, we haven't tried. So I hope that this exercise will remind you that you can always come back. You can always go back into that. All right. So, oh my God, I'm watching my nails because there's glitter on them. They're like glittering around. Okay. So for those of you that are new to me, my name is Melissa Kathryn. As I explained, I am a Thank you, Stephanie. I specialized and have specialized in emotional eating, disordered eating, life coaching. I've been doing this work for so long. It encompasses a lot. My specialty is really about bringing women back to the truth of who they are before they ever thought they were less than, whether it's due to a number on the scale, a trauma, anything that had you not believe that you were enough in some way that's caused you to live smaller in life, playing a smaller game that you know is inside you, really sitting there and going, wait, I know that I'm meant for more. I know that I'm destined for more. I know that I'm not meant to feel this way. I know that I'm not meant to struggle with food, with money, with love, with career, with purpose. I know that I was destined to help people and make a difference. I know that I am meant for great things in this life, and I'm stuck, right? And these are the women that find me. And usually there's a misconception that it has to do with their weight. Mine was, it has to do with my weight, and my weight was my reason for not stepping into my power. My weight was my reason why I couldn't start my business. My weight was my reason why my relationships weren't working. My weight was my reason for not putting myself out there. My weight was my reason for not pursuing acting. My weight was my reason for not showing up boldly on social media. My weight was my reason. There were 1,000 things. And that was a story that I ran for 2 decades of my life. And it took, I had to go in and do the work that I teach, which is why I teach it. And it works, which is why I'm here. So, this is really the women that I speak to. They're high achieving, successful badasses that don't actually believe or see fully 1,000% how much of a badass they are. That negative thinking is what's running the show. The less than, I'm not enough, I'm not deserving, and that I need to be fixed. And, it's my weight, or it's this, or it's that will get me there. And that's what I'm a master at, removing and putting people into inspired action towards their dreams. And I say that I'm a pursuer of dreams, and I help others achieve theirs. So that is me. My background, international bestselling author and speaker, TEDx speaker, been a coach for over a decade. I run, international programs and retreats, hypnotherapist, intuitive, like I said, background in fitness, and specializing in mindset mastery, emotional mastery, and so much more. You can just go to my website and check it out. So I'm really excited to be here with you tonight. Let's dive in. There's a lot that we want to, that I do want to address. So I put in with a meditation around self-worth, because at the end of it, that's really what that is. So many, how do we eat without and enjoy without overeating? When we're grounded in our self-worth, when we're really in love with ourselves, when we feel good in our bodies, we don't want to compromise that. We don't want to feel heavy and weighed down. We don't want to go back. We don't want to disconnect from the power that is us. When we overeat, we numb out. Every time we overeat, we disconnect from our highest self and our higher power, because they cannot get through. We cannot hear messages from divine, from highest consciousness, when we are sugar-laden, brain fog, and sitting there in a numbed out state, zoning out, watching Netflix, overeating and sitting there, right? Because what actually happens when we do that? When we overeat, what transpires? We are in a negative downward spiral. We are beating ourselves up. We're telling ourselves we're not enough. We're angry with ourselves. We feel overweight. We don't do the things on our to-do list because we're like, I feel so gross. I'm just going to keep watching TV, right? I feel so gross. So we end up in that space. I've been there. We've all been there. And what it really is it's a disconnection from your highest self. You have separated from your highest self. You've separated from the part of you that believes in you. You've separated from the part of you that knows better. You've separated from the part of you that is confident, that believes that the universe has your back, that is sitting there, that believes in love. I always say there's only 2 human emotions, love and fear. And when we are disconnected and are in the state of overeating and that numbed out space, then we are actually now in the realm of fear, which means we are now associated with emotions such as overwhelm, lack, not enough, sadness, anxiety, depression, right? And all of those feelings of lack. Where there's lack, you will fill the gaps with food, right? So when we overeat, it's because we're disconnected. We're disconnected from our connection to our highest self and to what our highest self is calling us towards, Okay. So important that you know that, because often we think, oh, I overate because I have such a lack of willpower. I overate because of this. No, you overate out of a decision to disconnect from your highest self. You are now giving in, we are giving into the ego. We're giving into the ego that's like, oh, just one more bite. Oh my God, why do they get to eat it and I don't? And she's so thin and she's eating it. And why can't I, right? You get on the pity party train, and before you know it, your hand has not stopped going in that bag of popcorn, grabbing that chocolate bar, eating that ice cream, whatever it is. And before you know it, you're sitting there feeling sick, frustrated, disappointed in yourself, and that goes into a downward spiral. That's what we don't want to happen, right? So how do we end overeating? So when I'm talking about food, a lot of anybody that's done my Weight Loss for Life program is like, oh, now I only eat when I'm hungry, I stop when I'm full, right? I'm in that place where I enjoy food, but food's not everything. Food's not my focus. Right? The fun, the people, the festivities are my focus, and food's a plus. Well, when you come from dieting, right? When you come from the world of dieting, that's not the case. The mindset of the dieter enters a situation of the holidays like this. Well, I never get to eat this food, so I'm going to give myself a 3-day pass. Or the holidays are only one time a year, so I'm just going to eat whatever I want and I'll deal with it in the new year. Well, I mean, I already ate so crappy today. I mean, I ended up at the office party and then I ate this, so I might as well just go to hell. Like, my goals can go to hell and I'll just deal with them later. And then you end up going, well, I already messed up my diet. So on the way home, I'm going to stop and get an Entenmann's, and I'm going to stop and pick this up, and maybe I'll get a pint of Halo. And I mean, it's healthy ice cream, and I'll get this and I'll get that because I've already messed up my diet anyway, right? That's the world. That's the mind of the dieter. So you give yourself these outs. You give yourself these breaks that actually are you sabotaging yourself, and it's not your highest self. It's your ego pulling you back to what you've done in the past, to bring you back to playing small, so you can continue the pattern of finding fault within yourself, so you can continue the pattern of not being connected. So instead, what we need to do is actually be very intentional. So when we're in our self-worth, we don't want to overeat. So how do we stay in our self-worth, right? Like I said, where there's lack, you will fill the gaps with food. So how do we stay in our self-worth? Well, we actually have to create a new story. So I want you each to take out a pen and paper right now, because you each have a story around how the holidays go for you. You do. You don't even realize it. Whether you go back and visit family or whether family comes to you, even if you're mixing it up this holiday, you still have a story around what happens with you with food. Let me tell you, my story was always something like this. I'm going to have an intention this year of going home and having lost all this weight, and everyone's going to see me. I'm going to feel so good. So I'm going to start a diet in around October, and it's going to or September, right? And it would never work. And my days, right? Because I would then try a diet, but then diets don't work. And as a perfectionist, I insisted I needed a plan because I didn't trust myself outside of the plan. Because if I didn't have a plan, then what was I going to do? I'd probably go off the rails and eat everything in sight, and right, like eat 5,000 pounds. And I mean, it was crazy. Like the thoughts that I had, right? Who's here with me on this one? So I would sit there and then I wouldn't meet my goals. So then I'd feel bad. So I'd go into Thanksgiving already having gained weight because my diet caused me to rebel against myself, right? If you've read my book, I would rebel, and then I would binge for a bit, and then I would go on another diet. So anyway, obviously I would put on weight. So then I'd go home at Thanksgiving and I'd already feel bad. And then I'd sit there and I'd tell myself, well, I never have stuffing, so I'm going to have stuffing. And it's one day and everybody's overeating, and it was all about the food. Everything was about the food. But I would go in strong with a dieter's mindset. I'm not going to eat. I'm going to get up that morning. I'm going to work out. I'm not going to have my first meal until this. I'm going to go there and do this. I would put all these things off limits. Well, it never worked. I would end up overeating, eating the whole time. It didn't matter if it was fruit. I would eat the fruit bowl, and then I would have a slab of this, a little slice of this pie, but then I'd go back for 6 more. And then I'd sneak things while I was packing up the food for everybody at Thanksgiving. And I'd be right. So then I'm sneaking things and I'm telling myself it's Thanksgiving and it's just one time and then I'm going to start over. Well, what happens then? The next day is leftovers. Then I'm still not in my home or my routine, right? And then this would go into like 3 weeks later, it would be Christmas. right? And so then I would still, having not gotten the weight off, feeling gross, right, commit to the same thing. Then I would feel bad because I would insist everyone in my family was judging me for weight gain. Were they? No. Maybe, even if they were, it doesn't matter. I was judging myself, right? So then that would make me feel bad. And then I would sit there and it was all about the food. I wasn't present to anybody. I was all about, when is the food coming out? When is the food coming out? And I tried to put all these dieting rules on the holidays, which just caused a giant rebellion, many nights of binging, going to bed feeling sick, actually beating myself up relentlessly. My holiday memories were me like not feeling good in my body, feeling overweight, going to bed feeling sick. And that's what it was all about. It wasn't about love. It wasn't about being present. It wasn't about just enjoying or giving or the holiday traditions. That's what it was about, right? So obviously I was going into weight gain, right? Like obviously why wouldn't I eat to soothe myself, right? Like I felt like an awful person. I was making myself feel awful, right? Who can relate to what I'm saying? Put it in the chat if you guys get what I'm talking about, right? So this is what I'm saying. That's the craziness, right? So perfect. I love this, guys. Perfect. Love, 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 love. Okay. So when I go back, okay, we know me. If I read the chat, you won't hear anymore because I'll go and answer all these questions and start coaching, and then you guys are without the rest of the content. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to full screen here. So, right, I know many of you know what I'm talking about, right? Like I know my peeps. I know what I'm doing, right? I've done this for a long time. I've been coaching and helping women get free from this for a long time. So what do we wanna do here? What does not work is what you've done. Write that down. What does not work is what I have done. Right now, I need you to put in the chat, are you committed to change? Are you committed to change? Right? It's really, really important. Are you committed to change? Okay? That's something that you really need to check in with yourself and say, am I committed to doing things differently? Am I committed to taking on the coaching that I'm receiving tonight and trusting and knowing that it is meant for me? Right? Am I committed and knowing that dieting does not work and only causes me to rebel and overeat? Instead, what I want you to do is this. I want you right now, everybody share in the chat or write in your journal. You can bullet in the chat and write down. I want to give you 2 minutes right now. I want you to write down, what is your story around holidays and food? Have you already resigned to giving yourself an out, right? Have you already resigned to that? Have you already said like, okay, well, on Christmas, I don't care. I'm eating whatever I want. It's my one day. Check in. Because that piece of you, if that is a part of your story, that piece of you doesn't actually trust herself and doesn't believe that she has control over what she can put into her mouth. And here's a little something interesting that I want you all to know. All your holiday foods that you think are only available to you at the holidays can either be packaged up, put in your fridge or freezer for a later date in proper portions at a time when you're not overly full. And most of the time, these are just stories that we tell ourselves. The foods don't taste that good, or we can get them anytime. Stuffing is available all the time. Turkey is available all the time. Your Christmas cookies, you can make them all the time, right? Like this is just a story that as dieters, we tell ourselves, okay? And it's actually just a way to stay fixated on the food and in the victim mentality of woe is me. I can't have these foods because I'm always on a diet. So notice what your story is. And I know when I say victim, a lot of people go, ooh, I'm not a victim. Or you just want to like stab me through the computer. And I get it because I didn't like being told it either. And the truth is, as dieters, we are highly, highly selfish. Another one you're not going to like me for, but I'm saying it. It's true because we're very self-absorbed. We're constantly obsessed with what we're putting into our bodies, what we aren't, how many calories we ate, what we didn't eat. Did I overeat? I feel so sick. I can't believe this. And we're not actually present to our partners, our kids, our family. Because in our minds, they're like, oh, mommy, look at this. And you're like, did I just eat 1,200 calories in the span of 30 minutes? How did I can't believe I just did that. Oh my God, blah, blah, blah. I feel so fat. I'm so disgusting. I don't want anybody to touch me. Oh my God. I hope I could wear a muumuu. I wish I was home right now. I hate this right now. I just want to put my, right? Like we're like going in this whole thing. And as dieters, the other thing that I can say that is I really had to make peace with myself. And as I've shared it, you know, in these past, I ran Weight Loss for Life for 7 years live, and now it's available as an online program. To help as many, you know, women as possible. That was one of my goals this year, which I'm very, very proud that that's available now across the board. But what I can say is the other one was the victim. What was me? I'm so sad that I can't believe that I can't partake in this and I can't have that. And why is she thin? And why aren't I this? And why has this been my struggle? Notice that story, because I can tell you, ladies, this, coming upon the heels of the new year, this is the time to let those things go. It doesn't need to be this big, oh my God, I need to do a ceremony and a ritual. I was saying this to one of my clients earlier, and we do a lot of intuitive work together. And I was like, I know we love to burn things and have the feathers and the this and the crystals. And I can also just say, really, you can just choose to let it go. You can choose to let it go. You do not need to stay in a struggle, but we have to write our news story. So write down, what is your story around holidays and food? And your exercise after this live call and to share in the wholeness group is, what is your news story around the holidays and food? Write it out. My family comes to my home and it's so great. I had wonderful boundaries. I made a point to move each day. I took care of me. I really plated my food, and I'm going to teach you guys this next. I plated my food, I portioned it, and I put it away. I didn't sit and endlessly eat. I only ate things that were on my plate. I chose not to partake in snacks. I waited for meal times. I felt so good and so proud of my choices. I really enjoyed this holiday. It felt so beautiful and empowering to be in my body, to check in, to hear everybody else complaining about how full they are or how gross they feel or this and that. And I felt good. I didn't feel any of that. And I actually went to bed feeling light and excited for breakfast. You know, it was my first time actually feeling that way. And as a result, I felt the difference in my clothes. I felt the difference in my mood. I felt more clear-headed, and I was a lot less bitey with other people. You know, I wasn't as spastic. I wasn't down on them. I wasn't judging them because I wasn't judging myself. And it was so beautiful because I was kind, and I recognized that all the stress that I was putting on myself with my weight was showing up in the way that I was treating my partner. And I was even short with my parents and my kids. And this time I was really in my body, and I just chose to be very present. And I made it about the festivities, and I planned family, walks, and even in the snow, and we went out and we did a family movie, and we did this as opposed to just sitting inside and me being around food all day, right? Like, that's an example. I woke up, right? So let's go through that. So I want you to write down, what are some things that would make a very happy, joyous holiday experience for you? That would be a news story around you with food. What would that be? Right? What would that look like? What would that feel like? Be pretty awesome, right? To actually go back and be like, I feel so good. I feel so energized. I have this, I have that, right? So I want you to put that down. And then what we're going to do here, and I am conscious of the time. The other thing that we're going to do here is, when we're talking about eat and enjoy without overeating. So here's the thing. Plate it, portion it, put it away. It's about actually savoring what's on your plate. You put what's on your plate, a serving of whatever you're eating, not a plate that's piled this high, that is like falling off the edges. You are putting on your plate with a normal serving size, and your plate is what you eat. You're not going back for seconds. You're not going back for thirds. You're eating what is on your plate. Plate it, you portion it, and you put it away. And during the holidays, instead of snacking and grabbing and M&Ms and this and that, right, and a candy cane here and a cookie there, all of that stuff adds up. So instead, I would rather you take all those little nibbles and put them on one plate, and go, that'll be my dessert for later on. I'm going to have all of that when I can really sit down and enjoy it. And I can even space it out, but it's going to be on a plate. So I'm really aware of what my body needs. Your body is the size of a fist. Your body. No, it's not. Your body is not the size of a fist, or we'd all be little gnomes running around. Not even a gnome. We'd be basically a hamster. Your belly is the size of a fist. And this is all the food that your belly needs to be full. This is it. And if you're sitting there going, okay, then why is my belly this big? Your belly can expand the width of 8 baseballs. So it can fill up with that much food. And once you fill it up with that much food and stretch it out, even when it empties, it now doesn't empty all the way back. It gets a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger if you keep putting that much food in it. Just like when you cut your portions and all of a sudden you're like, I shrunk my appetite. Like, I just don't need that much anymore. We actually don't need a lot for our survival, for us to function at our optimal health and wellness and well-being. We really only need this much food. This is it. That's it. From one meal to the next. And generally what you'll find, women, especially as we age, that we generally, depending on our activity level, if you are do about 30 to 45 minutes of activity a day, 4 days a week, right? That would be like moderate exercise, sedentary to moderate, right? Because the average American, right, we are seated most of the time, right? They say sitting's the new smoking. So unless you are a highly active person that's working out 7 days a week and really training and weight training and doing more lengthy workouts, we really don't need a lot of food. And it's not until the women go through my course and we do a whole exercise around recognizing your fullness that many of them go, this is fascinating. Like, I really only need 2 meals a day and like a light snack. I don't even need, I need 3 square meals, but I don't need any snacks, or just like 3 small meals. It's really interesting. And that's when they start to identify where they thrive. That's what I want you to notice and start to plug in and pay attention to. Where do you thrive? Because when we're done eating, we shouldn't feel heavy. We shouldn't feel tired. We shouldn't feel lethargic. We should feel light and energized and very clear focused when we just ate in the proper portion. We should feel light, energized, and clear focused. So plate it, portion it, put it away is a number one way, not the number one. We've already gone into our tips and tools here, but to eat and enjoy without overeating, food guilt, or weight gain. Because then you're very conscious, what did I put into my body? And you can start to plan. Wow, well, I know we eat, we generally eat our holiday dinner at like 3. So I'm going to just have breakfast and then wait till that, right? Like, you can actually start, plate it, portion it, put it away, and spend your other times spending time with family, getting out of the house, doing other things, even if it's cold out, planning things, being in the act of life, living your life to the fullest, right? I always say the more we live, the less we want the food. The more we live, the less we want the food. Remember, where there's lack, you will fill the gaps with food. If there is a lot lacking in your current life that isn't bringing you a lot of joy, where you're not really feeling filled up, where you're kind of feeling stuck and exhausted, or just not lit up, right? We will want to turn to food. We will want to turn to numbing agents. We will want to turn to social media. We'll want to turn to endless shopping. We'll want to turn to drinking. We'll want to turn to a lot of different things, anything. And they generally aren't things that are necessarily supporting us. It is a beautiful thing when we recognize that things aren't working and we end up finding faith, or we end up finding a love of reading or music, but most end up going to things that you can numb out, that can replace and give you an instant gratification without a long-term gain. An instant gratification, but a long-term frustration, if you will, right? So what is the next piece that we really want to do with this? As I've said, it's never, ever about the food. Never, ever about the food. So earlier, I asked you to write down your stories around food. So recognize your stories and look at your stories and look at where they come from. Where do your stories with food, especially around the holidays, come from? Right? A lot of them are, there's a lot of rituals. There's a lot of traditions. There's a lot of things that get passed down. And since the holidays are a sensitive time and some have experienced loss and separation, sadness, different things, or are missing love or going through a breakup, right? Like there's so many just transition in life. We can turn to food for that emotional support, you know, just like I said, these other things. So it's really important that we start to go, okay, what is the feeling that I want to get from food? What is it that I'm desiring? Well, I don't really feel heard in my household. You know, I don't really feel respected. And food, you know, always listens. Food's always there, right? We look to food as human connection. That's really where the emotional crutch from food comes in. This is why dieting never works. Because if you're constantly trying to break up with something that you in your heart need, then you'll always find a way back to it unless you replace it with more of you, more love for you, more love of life, right? This is what I teach inside and out. This is what my programs are all about. So it's very, very important that we start to recognize, what am I feeling? What am I wanting to feel from food? Why do I keep going to numb out? What is it about my job that makes me miserable? What is it about my partnership right now that's just not fueling me? Right? What is it about when I go and see my family, or my family comes to see me, or what is it about the holidays right now that I'm really wanting to feel that I don't know, that I haven't even taken the time to identify? Because once we can identify that and get to the root of that, then we can start to go, how can I give that to me? It's really powerful. That's how we end the overeating. That's how we stop the weight gain. That's how we don't feel guilty around food. Because again, when we go back to plating it, pushing it, putting it away, we're like, I ate just what my body needed. And it didn't matter that it was chocolate chip cookie or a piece of broccoli. I ate what I was desiring. I had a normal portion of it, and I put it away. Remember, it was never the brownie that made you gain weight. It was the brownie that led to the 3 brownies that then led to the F it, I'm going to go eat some pizza, that led to, okay, well, I've already gone off my diet and thrown, you know, and said, F it, I might as well now eat the Doritos. And since I ate those, I might as well keep going. And I'm going to go and go and go and go. And then I'm going to go to bed and beat myself up. And then I'm going to feel so crummy that I beat myself up and how much I ate. And it's going to keep me up all night. And that keeping me up all night, and the indigestion and the heartburn and the fact that I feel sick, I'm now going to now miss my workout, which is going to make me feel even worse. So now I've taken 2 days of feeling bad. So it was never the brownie. It was the meaning that you gave the brownie. Okay? It was never the brownie, right? So these are all important things that we want to identify and understand when it comes to, someone's about to call in and I know it. They're not. Yes, they are. It's my mom. I love her, but I'm going to decline her. So it's really important that we get in that space and that we start to unravel what these things are within us that are really pulling us out of alignment within ourselves. Okay. So the next piece to this is, I want each of you, you said and wrote an intention for why you're here. Now I want you to write an intention that you're going to take with you through the holidays. What is going to be your intention for the holiday season with you and food and your body? What is your intention? Write it in your journal so you have it, and share it in the chat so everybody can energetically stay connected and support one another in what you're desiring and what you're wanting for yourself. Okay? Really, really powerful. Okay. I'm just reading through. Perfect. Stephanie, I love what you were saying there. So I'm just reading through some of these because I want to make sure to be of support. I love what you're saying where it's like you're not seeing the consequences on the outside, but you know that you're not in alignment. It reminds me of, and I want to share this. It reminds me of a time And I remember I was trying, I was living in New York, and I was really understanding that I was like binging. And people always, I was tiny. So I would go between being tiny, but then I'm 5'4". So I would then like 10 pounds look like 20 pounds, and then I go up 10 pounds, and then and on the outside, I looked like super healthy because I would go to the gym and everybody knew how healthy I was. Blah, blah, blah. And I remember one of my best friends, Megan Benson, love her. And I remember I enlisted her for support, and I said, "Oh my God, Meg, we went out last night, had too many cocktails because I was drinking too much too, and because I wasn't happy." Like, of course, I didn't really put that together. I was just like, wait a minute, all my friends seem to be still doing this and they're happy. Why aren't I happy? And then I was like, once I got into the self-development world, I was like, ding, 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 there's something that's not right, right? But why I wanted to share this story with you, Steph, is I enlisted her and I said, Meg, I really need you to help me. Because, once I drink too much, then I caution to the wind, and then I end up eating all this stuff, and it just doesn't feel good. And she's like, well, you're so tiny, it doesn't matter. And I was like, no. It's not about that. I don't care about that. Now that I'm actually on the path to healing, it's like I'm slapping myself in the face. It's like, I know internally it's not what I need. So I don't care if it's weight on my body or not. It's not about the weight anymore. What I care about is the fact that I'm saying that I want something. And every time I'm taking actions that aren't aligned with what I know is my truth, which what my higher self is calling me towards, it feels like crap. And I don't want to feel that way. And I don't know why I'm doing that. And I know that when, alcohol induced, I'm not in the same stream of consciousness, but even sabotaging wise, this is how I really also birthed my book around self-sabotage, because I became fascinated with why I wanted something so badly and was still sabotaging myself. Why did I want to be healed from food? Because once it was no longer about the weight, then it was, well, why am I still hurting myself? Like what? And the thing that I found was there was a missing gap in my relationship with me. There was a lack of worthiness and feeling fully deserving of what I wanted. There was a lack of me actually believing that I could be really happy and that it could come easily, and that I could actually just be at peace in life without needing to work on something, that I could be happy without needing to struggle with something. And I saw that I had a belief that I was too blessed in life. Who am I to have a great family and, have been blessed with so many things, there was this belief that I had to look at and really go, but why wouldn't you be deserving of this life? Like, why are you meant to struggle and be in pain? What is that belief? And I also saw how some of that belief was tied back to my religion and being raised all girls private Catholic. And, if you lied, God was going to come and get you. And if you're a bad person, right? So there was a lot there for me. And so for any of you that are just struggling with food, but you're like, I don't really I feel good in my clothes, like nobody would know. That's actually even straight, like, I don't want to say it's even harder, because, those of you, and I get both sides, because as my ring is like, I get both sides because I also know the side of the weight, of having the weight on and being like, no, that feels awful. And also the side of not, and kind of being like, yeah, but it still feels awful. It feels awful that I'm not honoring myself. So I wanted to see if any of that speaks to you and to anybody else, because guys, if you're here and there isn't necessarily, weight on you, you'd like to lose 5 pounds or no weight, but you're like, if you only knew the thoughts in my head. I have tons of clients like that, and I totally get that. And it can be an even trickier thing, because you're like, no one understands that I feel crazy around food, and no one understands that I'm like obsessing around food, because they just look at me and think, because I'm thin, that I don't have any issues with food, but I really do. And I'm like sneaking food and hiding food and using it. Right. So there's these things, and I just wanted to share that. And if that speaks to you. So one of the things that I would say to do, like I had shared, is to really check in with yourself and go, is there a part of me that doesn't believe that I can just be happy? What part of me wants to create something that, right? Because dieting is distracting. Right? A diet is a distraction from you being your highest self. Overeating is a distraction from you being your highest self. Okay? Being a victim is a distraction from you being your highest self. Being in the place of, whoa, what is wrong with me? I need to fix me, is a distraction from you actually just owning how freaking powerful and amazing and worthy and what a queen you are, right? All of those things is it's all a distraction. Negative thinking is the ego mind. It is a way for us to stay in a space of, I am not enough in some way and I need to fix me. And until I do, then I can't have this. And I am here. If you get anything from me, please know that that is all BS, that you are completely worthy and deserving of everything you desire, that you are only meant for good things, that you are not meant to struggle, that there is nothing that's outside of you, that the weight, that the body that you want, it's all right there. That the lack of struggle with food, it's all right there. That the life, the money, the partnership, everything that you desire is right there. Put your focus into the things that you desire and shift your focus from being focused on everything that isn't working and all the things that you don't have and how hard things can be to, wow, life is always supporting me. I am so amazing. Oh my God, look at my blessings. Let me go straight to gratitude and appreciation for all that I have and all that is on its way to me, because that is the life. That is what is meant for you. And anything less than that is false. It is a separation from yourself, and it is not what is intended for you in this lifetime at all. So everything that you are meant for is available to you, and it's already been created. You don't even need to ask for it again. You just need to be in alignment of recognizing that you receive nothing less than what it is you already desire, right? Really, really being in that and standing in it so strongly. There is nothing outside of any one of us, guys. There is nothing outside of any one of us. Everything that we desire is right here. The money, the love, the body, the health, the wealth, you name it, it's all there. The only thing that stops us from that is our belief and us playing too small, not asking big enough, not being in the expectancy of our desires, thinking that some way and somehow it's not going to come to us easily, that we have to work really hard for it. And that is what I really want to remind you in this whole for the holiday series. It is all that you are already whole and perfect exactly as you are. There is nothing outside of you. It is all right here, right? Does that make sense? Is that landing with you guys? I really want you to feel that, right? Because you're not a victim unless you choose to be. You're not a victim to anything unless you choose to be. You don't have a weight struggle unless you keep repeating that you do. You don't have an issue with food unless you keep repeating that you do. And if we fixate on the body that we don't have yet, on the fact that we haven't been able to lose weight yet, and on all the supporting evidence that our negative mind has found to support why we are a victim and why it's hard and why we can't have what we want, then you will continually reject all good things coming to you and push them off, because where you are putting your focus, your energy grows. And everything that you have and everything that you're doing within yourself is in complete opposition to the things that you're wanting. So if you're wanting ease and flow, then why focus on struggle? If you're wanting weight loss, then why focus on the fact that you haven't lost weight yet, right? If you're wanting more money, then why are you putting all your energy in the fact that you don't have money, right? Like all of that is going to block the very things that you're wanting. So we actually have to shift our stream of consciousness, the way that we talk to ourselves, our way of being, and get into an empowered space. And that is why tonight was so important. That is why we had to start off with a meditation, grounding into our worthiness. That's why then we went into, what is your intention? Let's be intentional in everything and stop letting life just pull us and actually be a part of the co-creation process. This is why I really want you to recognize none of this is about the food and none of this is about your weight. It's just a story that you've been living into, and society loves to feed it with the 50 million diets and the bobblehead models out there and the size zeros and and unless you're that, then you don't deserve to be a happy person. You get to choose the stories that you want to make your own. You get to choose the life that you want to be living. You get to choose how you want to think each day. You get to choose and write your own story. I always say every day you wake up to a new page in your book of your own life. Is it going to be a repetition of last year? It's up to you. My invitation to you is no, let's choose that. Let's let go of all of that right now. Let's step into the power that is us and let's start to own it and play really big. In fact, my encouragement to you is, why aren't you dreaming bigger? Why aren't you asking for more? It's not selfish. It's what you deserve. God, the universe, intended for us to live these really big, bold, beautiful lives. That's why we're humans. That's why we're not spirits roaming around the world, right? Because our soul said, I want this life. I want to have some fun. I want to enjoy. I want to play big. I want to like just try everything and anything. I don't want to hide from anything, right? I want to be a yes to life in its grandest capacity. I want to show up so big and so bold. Doesn't matter what I put out. You put out, right? Like you want to be in that space. And I mean, that's my, right? Like, I like that one. And I want you to take what speaks to you here. I want you to recognize, you know, the thoughts in your head. I can guarantee if you follow me, there's a lot of negative thoughts, right? And these negative thoughts, I say that because it's the work that I do is about transforming from the unworthy to the worthy, from the I'm not using my voice to taking up massive space, from I don't want to be seen to here I am world, take it or leave it. I don't really care, but I love me. I am about you being in a love affair with you. This is what I teach. This is what I embody. This is what I've done myself. This is what my women do. And I'm so blessed and honored to be that guide. And my invitation to each and every one of you is to step into your power. Recognize that food only has power over you if you give it your power. What do you want to be the center stage for your life? Is it going to be food and your struggle with weight or playing less than? Or is it going to be you showing up big and transcending these limiting beliefs? That is what you get to do. Does that make sense? Just check in here. Okay, perfect. Steph, I love you too, hon. Okay, Maureen, Carrie, I'm laughing. So the way that we feel it, we're not going to feel it right away because you can't go from where you are right now to where you want to be. You're not all of a sudden going to go, I'm at $500,000 in debt into a multimillionaire because I said it. No, but you start to feel it. How do we feel it? You get into the vibration of it. And Carrie, I know you're in Weight Loss for Life, girl, and I've taught this on many modules. So make sure to go back in the program and listen to that because I did how to get into vibrational alignment as one of our modules. So what I will tell you is this. Stacey, 12 years, it's a blast, right? Catholic school. Okay, so how do we get into the feeling? We get into the feeling by getting to the closest good feeling thought to that which we desire. So if it is weight loss, think about the last time that you lost weight really easily. Think about the last time you looked in the mirror and loved what you saw. Think about the last time you felt really beautiful. And just close your eyes and get into that vibration. The way we get into vibrational alignment, words are words. Say the words that are closest to that which you want. Start to affirm the life that you want to be living. Start to affirm who you choose to be. Start to affirm with adjectives, with verbs, with words. I am happy. Oh my God, everything is always working out for me. Life is so beautiful. It always works out. I'm the luckiest girl in the world. It doesn't matter. What you say will start to become your reality. You have to do it consistently. It's not just one day. It's not just 1 week. It's not just 1 month. You make it a part of your daily practice. Say it, see it, repeat it. Say it, see it, repeat it. When I say see it, what I mean is sit in the visualization of it, sit in the feeling of it to get into vibrational alignment to attract that to you. So if you're wanting more money, right? What do we want to do? We want to start to state the thing that we're wanting. And then we want to think, when was the last time that I felt wealth? When was the last time that I felt really confident around money? When was the last time that I just knew money was coming to me? When was the last time, right? And then we go into that space, and what does that do, right? Then that brings us back. That brings us into a place where then we're like, oh, okay, I get it, like, right? And we start to feel it. Oh, okay, yeah, at that time, like money just came super easily. I didn't ever worry about money. It was so time. It doesn't even have to be a time when you made so much money. It's just a time when you didn't think about it. It just came. You were just taken care of. Right? When's the last time you really felt loved? If you're wanting love in your life, when's the last time that you felt loved, appreciated, adored, cherished? When was the last time you felt excited in a relationship? You know, maybe it doesn't matter if it was when you were 14. I don't care. Just go back to that memory where it feels alive in your system and brings a smile to your face. That is how we get into energetic alignment. And that is what will bring us into that process, okay? So we talked about a lot of things here tonight. We talked about a lot. We did our meditation. You will get a replay so you can go back to that. We talked about the importance of self-worth. We wrote down and we talked about what are the where there is lack, you will fill the gaps with food. And we wrote down, what is your limiting story? What is your story around the holidays? What are your emotional connections to those foods and to that story? What was it that you were desiring to feel? Then what is your news story around the holidays? What are you going to experience? Then you set an intention for this holiday series. Yes, you did. And you also set an intention for the holidays that you're going to repeat every day. I'm connected to my body. The holidays, this is my best holiday season ever. I've never had so much fun, felt so loved, and experienced so much joy and peace within myself and just in my life this holiday season, right? We want to really be in that. What is that intention, right? I went through the explanation of the difference between a dieter versus somebody that really comes in and is present the holiday season. We talked about the power of plating it, portioning it, and putting it away, right? Recognizing that our fist is the size of our appetite, of our stomach. And we can shrink it back down to this, and we really checking in with how much food do we really need, right? That food should keep us focused, energized, and ready for the next thing that we have to do, as opposed to feeling tired and wanting to lay down, right? And really creating, what would your new identity be? What would your new identity be? And stepping into that, getting into the game of playing big and releasing all the things that aren't serving you, okay? So stay tuned. I'd love to hear what you got from tonight's live training. Please go and post it in the wholeness group. Post it in there. What was your number one? I love threes. 1 to 3 top takeaways. In that, not only are you supporting the other women, but you're supporting yourself because you're actually giving words and action to what you learned here tonight. Okay, you will get the replay so you can listen to this over and over again. And since you're already signed up, starting tomorrow, you're going to receive our daily tips for the Healthy Holiday Challenge. It's 14 days of daily tips into your inbox. And make sure to show up next week, same time, for our second part of this series, how to handle family triggers, food pushers, and stress less for your most joyous holiday season yet. I will see you there. Thank you so much for being here. I love you, ladies. Bye, guys. Have a beautiful night.